Yesterday, we already covered the key points of placing Buddhahood within reach. In placing Buddhahood within reach, the 6 Bardos or the 4 Bardos are discussed. These Bardo teachings are very important. Regarding the Bardos, actually, they're not mentioned much in the Buddha's sutras and shastras, including in Tibetan Buddhism's Gelug school, Kagyu, Sakya, and Jonang schools. Other traditions also don't mention them much. Only in Padmasambhava's Bardo teachings are they discussed extensively. As we all know, after a person dies, rebirth in the next life is mentioned in many places. But the intermediate Bardo state and the experiences at the time of dying, only in Karma Lingpa's liberation through hearing teachings are they explained clearly. So, among all religions, including other worldly religions, they only speak of heaven above and hell below, but the process in between is not explained in detail. So, I think the Bardo teachings are very important. For this reason, in the West, the Tibetan Book of the Dead was probably translated in 1927. The British Museum has it. I've also visited the very first copy they initially translated. I should have taken a photo at that time. So from that time, it's been nearly 100 years now. From 1927 to now 2023, that's 96 years. From that time, it was translated into English, and then people all over the world wanted to know what exactly the Bardo is like. Actually, even within Tibetan Buddhism, only in the Nyingma school, in Padmasambhava's teachings, is this found. You can also look in other places. Generally speaking, it's quite rare. It's not explained in such detail elsewhere. So these 6 Bardos are explained in great detail within the Nyingma teachings. Earlier, His Holiness just briefly mentioned the Bardo of dying, the Dharmata Bardo, and the Bardo of becoming, as well as the Bardo of meditation and the Bardo of dreaming. The Bardo of meditation refers to the entire process of a person's meditation. It's called the Bardo of meditation, the meditation process. As for the Bardo of dreaming, dreaming is also a Bardo. The entire process from falling asleep to finally waking up, this dreaming process is called the Bardo of dreaming. There's also the Bardo of this life. The Bardo of this life is from our birth until before our death, so we often speak of 6 Bardos. In this regard, the Dharmata Bardo, the Bardo of becoming, and the Bardo of dying, these 3 Bardos, His Holiness explained each in just one sentence. Some people often seem confused about what the Bardos are like, so as human beings we should have some understanding of these Bardos. Otherwise, for each of us, when we'll face the Bardo is hard to say. Everyone should be well prepared. Otherwise, regarding the Bardo of dying, you keep thinking, I won't have to face that, I won't have to face that. Then suddenly at the hospital after a checkup, you're already at late-stage cancer, it has already spread. At that moment, what will you do? Do you have confidence? Or if you're in a car accident with just a bit of breath left, death for humans is especially easy. In just a day or two you get sick, need emergency care, and then a day or two later you're dead. After death, friends and family cry a little and then it's over. All of humanity is like this. No matter what kind of person you are, it's all the same. So regarding the Bardo teachings, I hope everyone, as disciples of His Holiness's lineage, will have at least some confidence. I don't even dare to say too much to everyone. But compared to others, I myself have at least a little interest in this area. Perhaps when the time actually comes, we might not have it when we truly face it. Some people used to talk big, but when they actually faced it, it was as if they had no realization at all. Whether it will be like this, we can't say. Of course, there are many teachings that are able to not only benefit all beings of all places in general, but are also specifically designed to flourish in certain places. This teaching, as I mentioned a couple of days ago, will in general bring great benefit to the whole world, but more specifically, it is meant to be propagated in Western countries. In the Buddhist cosmology, Bodh Gaya is considered as the center of the world, and there are 4 major regions to its 4 directions. This manual is designed for countries to its west. This has been explicitly pointed out in the prophecy that came with the teaching. The West is mentioned. Although the sun rises from the east, its brilliance will shine to the west. So I personally believe that compared to practitioners in the east, the Western practitioners will gain blessings and accomplishments more swiftly if they engage in its practice. But His Holiness, this is perhaps not the definitive meaning. Later, when he taught in Singapore, His Holiness spoke mainly to Eastern people. saying there are also many blessings for them. Previously, when teaching our Vajra demon subduing land Dharma friends, His Holiness also said that for those in the cities of Han Chinese regions, for these especially distracted people, it's very beneficial. He said that too. So sometimes with the Dharma, to help them generate joyful interest, some things said at specific times, His Holiness wasn't entirely without reason. Indeed, at that time, for many people, there were special blessings for them. So why do Westerners particularly like the Manjushri teachings and Vajrakilaya? They're very busy, and also some of them rely entirely on faith. They don't analyze many things. They directly abide, directly meditate. They prefer it that way. So when some teachers spread the Dharma in the West, it seems if they teach Madhyamaka, no one listens. There's a Khenpo I know, he said, in the West, don't teach Madhyamaka. No one listens to Madhyamaka. Just teach Dzogchen and Vajrakilaya directly. That way, you'll have many students. He teaches Dzogchen every day. But this, if we have the opportunity to spread Dharma in the West in the future, we also need to consider their different capacities. The capacities of beings in different places are indeed different. We can't generalize. From the wording of the prophecy, one can infer that, compared with practitioners in regions such as India, literally described as to the west of Bodh Gaya, actual Western practitioners in countries like the United States will benefit much more from practicing this manual. Certainly this is not written directly in the prophecy and is only my personal opinion. In the prophecy, as we heard the other day, it only mentions East and West. Nevertheless, I do feel it is an extraordinary teaching that is closely connected to and suitable for all of you. People in developed countries are very busy and have so many things to do. They have little time to learn and practice the Dharma. This is really true. At that time, I felt Westerners, their financial conditions were good and they were especially busy. Now we're the same. No matter what, we have so many things, especially those who play on their phones. Every day is spent on that. There's no free time at all. If you play on your phone all day looking at random things, your life is wasted. So I hope we, like at the Academy, would try to use phones as little as possible. Even if you need to use it, generally during meals or important times, use it briefly. Usually after checking in with relevant people, just put it aside and turn it off. That's better. This year, I feel if you don't use it at all, it's completely fine. If you use it, it constantly obstructs study, reflection, and practice. Of course, for those doing service work, it may still be needed. We still need to maintain balance in this regard. Yet, as mentioned above, this manual is easy to understand and convenient to carry out, so it meets your needs perfectly. And they laughed again, laughs. When we were proofreading, some Dharma friends said we should remove all these laughs. I said, don't remove them. There wasn't anything funny then. Why did they laugh? I said, this is because humor is different. The capacities of beings are different. When you say, this teaching is easy and helpful for you, ha! They all burst out laughing. What's so funny? You should understand, when you practice this manual, if you understand the meaning of the entire text, you can engage in its practice easily. If we can directly look at peaceful Manjushri and understand it directly, I have accepted you as my direct disciples. I have entrusted this manual to you. You can practice in this way. If you come to certain points that you do not understand, you should ask for guidance from other teachers who have its transmission, so that you learn the meaning and know how to carry on with the practice. This manual is not difficult, so it will not take much time to learn and apply. This peaceful Manjushri is indeed not difficult. Everyone should be able to understand it literally. I think those here who haven't received it can ask about it. But regarding teaching this, our Khenpos and Khenmos previously asked whether it should be taught in the practice class. But regarding teaching this, we still don't know. I did teach it here when His Holiness was alive. He asked me to teach it, so I did. But afterward, generally at our academy, many Khenpos and Khenmos don't dare to teach it. So for now, it hasn't been permitted. In the future, at that time, I also examined what I could observe. But for other tantric teachings, including next year's treasury of the Dharmadhatu, for these, some Khenpos and Khenmos have already been given permission. This probably requires a sequence. We haven't received a clear permission yet, whether from Dharma protectors' dreams or from our own examination. So for some questions, it's fine to to discuss them briefly. But for Khenpos and Khenmos to teach peaceful Manjushri is quite advanced. In theory, they can explain the words. That's not the issue. But it's not just about explaining theory that I can teach it. One should have realization from practice and many other aspects. Generally, some masters never teach Dzogchen in their entire lives. This is also to protect their own level of realization. Only after you fully understand the meaning of every phrase and sentence will your practice bring you great benefit. Now, there are many lamas who have received the transmission of peaceful Manjushri. The lamas present here and many other lamas in India and the land of Tibet are holders of its transmission. There are also many Han Chinese practitioners who have its transmission. From among them, those who possess supreme qualities and have this teaching's transmission can assist you to carry forth your practice. It should be a teacher who possesses supreme qualities. If the teacher doesn't possess supreme qualities, it may be quite difficult. His Holiness also said it's not that any so-called teacher can just start teaching it. One should roughly know this oneself. Others should also know about the teacher. Generally speaking, teaching Sutrayana and teaching Tantrayana are different. Permission to teach Tantrayana and permission to teach practical instructions are even more different. Empowerment and teaching pith instructions within Dzogchen, one of the main three kindness masters. So teaching the Tantras is relatively more permissible, but teaching pith instructions and giving empowerments generally, without reaching a certain level, one cannot do so casually. So, those who possess supreme qualities and are qualified to transmit can assist you to carry forth your practice in the future and beyond. That completes my brief instruction on placing Buddhahood within reach. This concludes that teaching. Next, brief meditation guidance on Vajrakilaya Gurkhukma. That day, His Holiness taught the brief practice of Vajrakilaya Gurkhukma. I think many of us also need to practice it, so I also put it in writing. At that time, I thought about it for a long time. Later, I felt I see many of our Dharma friends here want to dispel obstacles in their practice. Moreover, His Holiness personally transmitted it, and to receive directly from His Holiness how to actually practice Vajrakilaya Gurkhukma, that's very rare. So His Holiness here, some Khenpos at our academy often say, after reading A Journey to the West, wow, things never taught at the academy were taught so extensively over there. Now many Khenpos have this feeling. We've been here with His Holiness for over 20 years and we never heard these. So many teachings were given over there. We also know this. What we've compiled now is part of His Holiness's main theoretical teachings, some very important practical teachings. Were probably never taught in Tibet, so this record should be quite precious for you. After finishing this teaching, at the request of the audience, Choje transmitted the pith instructions for visualizing Vajrakilaya Gurkhukma. This is what I said. His Holiness said, according to your request, I will provide you with the concise method of how to develop the generation stage of the Vajrakilaya Gurkhukma practice. Since the copies of the English version of this practice have been made available to you, I will just explain to you the essential points. At that time, everyone had one. Actually, today we should have brought out the Vajrakilaya Gurkhukma practice ritual. That might have been better. The lineage prayer is at the front and the sadhana is at the back, but I didn't give everyone advance notice today. Later, I'll show you a photo. First, let me explain the content of the lineage prayer. The first part is the lineage prayer written by Gyalwa Rinpoche. In the lineage prayer, it says, first, you need to supplicate the lineage gurus from the Dharmakaya Samantabhadra, then the Sambhogakaya Vajradharma, not Vajradhara, it's Vajradharma in the verse, then the Nirmanakaya Padmasambhava to Nanam Dorje Dujom, the indestructible subduer of Mara, His Holiness's previous incarnation. You supplicate these lineage gurus successively one by one. The earlier verses mainly cover this. Then from Rigzin Godam, the Vidyadhara vulture feathers to Pema Wangchen. This is a supplication to all my previous reincarnations, because it's praying to His Holiness. At that time, the Master prayed to His Holiness's successive incarnations. After that, there is a supplication to the wrathful Vajrakumara and the hosts of deities in his mandala. These are the deities in Vajrakilaya's mandala. This is in the verses. When you read it, you'll be able to see this. Below are the 12 protectors of Vajrakilaya and the 28 sovereign lords. You pray to these for protection. The beginning is the distant lineage, the middle is the close lineage, and at the end you pray to these protectors of Vajrakilaya. What is the aspiration of these prayers? After each verse, it says, dispel outer and inner obstacles. Inner obstacles, outer obstacles, dispel inner and outer obstacles. You pray for their blessings so that all outer obstacles created by the Mara of sickness, obstructive spirits, ferocious ghosts, and all other harmful forces can be averted. These are outer obstacles. And that all inner obstacles of the negative conceptual thoughts that prevent practicing the clear light, great perfection can be pacified. Especially through their blessings you supplicate to attain the direct realization of the meaning of the generation stage, the completion stage, and the great perfection. This is the meaning of the first part of the prayer. Next, you take refuge, generate bodhicitta, and make samaya vows. The recitations afterward, when you practice on your own, first recite the lineage prayer once, then recite the refuge 3 times, then recite the bodhicitta aspiration 3 times. If there's a Samaya vow section in the middle, you can skip it if you want. If you do recite it, there's one line about the outer, inner, and secret Vajrakilaya. Recite that once, then begin reciting the Sadhana from the state of emptiness in an instant. First, you take refuge sincerely, as mentioned before. 1 is refuge, 1 is generating bodhicitta. Then sincerely take refuge in Vajrakumara, the deity who is the manifestation of your own awareness as absolute wisdom. Vajrakumara is another name for Vajrakilaya. He doesn't look like a youth, but actually he's often called Phurba Dorje Jonu Vajrakumara. Vajrakumara is his alternative name. This means Vajrakilaya or the Kilaya dagger. To liberate all sentient beings. From the ocean of suffering, you generate bodhicitta. This is generating bodhicitta. You embrace the Samaya vows with the commitment to keep the Samaya of all wrathful deities in terms of knowing what to accept and what to reject. These are the preceding verses. Then when actually visualizing the generation stage, first you need to arouse the view that all phenomena are empty and then abide in that view. Next, out of the state of emptiness, visualize that in an instant you appear in a wrathful form as the great glorious Vajrakumara, king of wrath. That's Vajrakilaya, our Phurba. Let me show you a photo of that. This is His Holiness's visualized Vajrakilaya. How do you visualize the glorious Vajrakumara? Is it not showing yet? Is it showing? Can you see it? You can see it, right? Visualize that he is dark blue in color, with 1 face and 2 arms. His palms are pressed together, rolling a phurba. You can see clearly, right? That's the Kilaya dagger. His Holiness's differs from some others that have consort forms. This is not a consort form. Lerab Lingpa also has a Vajrakilaya single deity practice. His Holiness's Vajrakilaya is a single deity practice. After we finish the transmission today, I'll see tomorrow or later. Today we probably don't have time. Tomorrow bring your Vajrakilaya practice text. We'll recite it together afterward. Before we recite the King of Aspiration prayers, after Sonam Di Yi, we'll recite it once together. Briefly, the refuge and bodhicitta at the beginning, then those verses, then starting from the generation stage to the praise and dedication verses at the end. If we briefly practice like this, everyone will know how to practice. When visualizing, it's like this. He is adorned with 10 heruka accoutrements and 8 ornaments of the charnel ground. He wears a human skin, an elephant hide, and a tiger skin. He is ornamented with a mala of dried human skulls, a garland of slightly moist human skulls, and a necklace of freshly severed human heads. Visualize Vajrakumara in this terrifying form. He stands with his 2 legs spread wide apart in a striding posture, atop male and female Rudras on the middle of lotus, sun and moon discs. He is radiant within an expanse of blazing wisdom fire. When practicing the entire Vajrakilaya, everyone should practice in this way. While reciting the mantra, when we recite the mantra, maintain the view that all appearances are the deity, all sounds are the mantra, and all conceptual thoughts are the play of wisdom. Remain in such a state and recite the mantra. When concluding the meditation session, at the end you dedicate the merit by reflecting, "May the virtue accumulated in this practice, together with all my virtue, become the cause to actualize the fruition of the wrathful Vajrakumara." Then recite the verse of auspiciousness and contemplate, "By the power of the merit generated from my diligent practice of these profound generation and completion stages, may all inauspiciousness and disasters throughout the 10 directions be constantly pacified, and may the brilliance of virtue and goodness shine throughout the 3 realms." This is the recitation of the auspiciousness verse. Afterward, just recite the auspiciousness verse. The guidance manual for the Vajrakilaya Gurkhukma practice in your hands has now been clearly explained for you. His Holiness has personally transmitted the Vajrakilaya. Everyone should think His Holiness has personally transmitted it to us. This is the text. You should be able to practice on your own afterward. This is quite simple. Everyone recites the sadhana once, then recite the mantra more. If you don't have enough time, recite the heart mantra 100 times, then make dedications. That's fine. Now we begin the departure from Rocky Mountain. I feel a bit sad. When I teach up to this point, I have many memories, much longing, thinking of His Holiness, thinking of many things from those places. Farewell prayers. At this point, Yijin Norbu had completed all the Dharma activities of conferring empowerments and giving teachings and practical guidance. Everything was nearly complete. At the time of departure, His Holiness spoke these words to everyone. "Now my time here is approaching its end. I'd like to thank all of you at this Rocky Mountain Center for your great kindness to me. You invited me at the beginning, then covered the expenses in the middle, and after I arrived, you hosted me with the greatest hospitality." His Holiness truly knew kindness and felt gratitude. Actually, sometimes we feel, why should His Holiness say this here? Why did I include this? Some of us might go somewhere, for example, and others cover your expenses, receive you very well, but when leaving you don't even say thank you. Sometimes when others give you a red envelope, there's not a word of thanks. As if it doesn't matter, it's taken for granted. Actually, this is very bad. His Holiness was such a great master. For others, paying for his travel expenses, offering him a meal, should be taken for granted. Moreover, he taught such profound Dharma, but outwardly, His Holiness still expressed gratitude to everyone. So each of us, for example, when someone treats you to a meal, at least say, "Thank you so much, I ate very well." When someone does something meaningful for you, say, "Thank you so much, you've helped me greatly." Or when I had no money before, you were so good to me. This time you've helped me so much. You should think it in your heart and also say it, express it. Some people think it but are too shy to say it. They think it's not necessary to say. Actually, that's not right. Knowing kindness and repaying kindness is very important. So I also, originally I wasn't going to say this, not to mention His Holiness when we go somewhere and others host us like this. Maybe it's nothing, but everyone should know this. Including this gentleman, the scary full-bearded David. Here, scary. Actually, at that time, it wasn't meant to be frightening, but spoken language and written text are a bit different. When you put it in writing, it seems very scary. His Holiness actually meant it kindly, saying this somewhat scary one, or this person. His Holiness was actually trying to make everyone laugh, but no one laughed much. Actually, that full-bearded person, from the airport until His Holiness's final departure, every day he served as the Vajra protector. Every day he came up to put shoes on His Holiness, serve meals. He was especially diligent. I also wanted to find out if he's still around, but he probably doesn't remember me. I haven't been able to contact this full-bearded person. He greeted me the moment I got off the plane and has been taking good care of me until today, the end of this session, taking good care of me, arranging everything for me wholeheartedly. I am deeply impressed by your great delight and faith in me. It is unimaginable, unexpected. Thank you so much for serving me so well, even finding doctors to treat my health issues. All of these things have caused you so much trouble. His Holiness spoke like this. There is no other way for me to repay your kindness. I can only pray for you sincerely that in all your future lifetimes you will experience perfect peace and happiness. His Holiness truly showed his gratitude to them. We should also learn from this. In the future, wherever we go, when someone has been kind to us, whether in Dharma matters or worldly matters. Indeed, in our lives, we receive kindness from many people. Perhaps we can't repay them in this lifetime. Some people may not have done you a direct favor, but they care about you. They show you kindness and protection. They have kindness toward you in their hearts too, caring for you, worrying about you, protecting you. There are many such instances. We should also dedicate to everyone who has shown us any kindness, as long as they've shown any kindness. And also to all beings who have harmed us, we should dedicate to them too. How do I offer my prayers for auspiciousness? First, may every managing member in your Sangha community attain high realization and great virtue, and enjoy universal auspiciousness. This is the first dedication of blessings, dedicating to these leaders and managers. Second, may all Vajradhatu Dharma centers thrive and be fully endowed with success and prosperity. This is the second dedication. The center is indeed still there. Many Western centers have already closed down. The other day I said later they said their current situation involves relatively lower taxes. They said they can still hold on now. This center, although at one point it was going to be auctioned, if they get through this, the center won't need to pay a lot of taxes in the future. They should be able to continue. Third, may incomparable experience and realization arise in the mind of each and every one of you. This is the third auspicious blessing. Fourth, may you enjoy longevity, health, peace, as well as perfect happiness in this life. This is the fourth auspicious blessing. Fifth and last, may we be able to meet again in this life so I can teach and you can listen to the sublime Dharma, especially when this life comes to an end. May we be reborn in Sukhavati, the western land of bliss, where we will reunite at the feet of Lord Buddha Amitabha and enjoy the profound and vast Dharma. This is the fifth dedication of blessings. Indeed, at that time for this center, His Holiness had the karmic connection. So in this life he taught and they listened. But later he manifested passing into parinirvana. So only you see His Holiness's compassionate words to everyone that flowed out spontaneously. It's also very meaningful. When compiled later, the content within said everything that needed to be said. It's very meaningful. Blessings for this life and the next were all expressed. This is the fifth auspicious blessing. Choje sealed the prayers by reciting the mantra of interdependent origination and verses of auspiciousness. He recited many at that time. These weren't included here. Afterward, he made aspirations and dedication. With that, the Dharma activities at Rocky Mountain Dharma Center were perfectly complete. The third stop is complete. As for the fourth stop, the other day I was wondering what to do about the Chetsun Nyingtig. I looked at it, and it seems there are still a few more classes. We won't be able to finish the preliminary section, so our next class will still be about the fourth stop. Look, Napa Valley is very beautiful. Napa Valley. Tomorrow we'll all go together to the fourth stop. Okay, let's go together.
Bandara Padmasambhava Bandara Padmasambhava